are turning to a PG-13 topic that you might not want the little ones at home to be a part of. So here's your chance to send them out of the room while we have a candid conversation about intimacy. We're sharing ways to help you improve intimacy and strengthen your marriage. Joining me is Laura Brotherson, an author, marriage and family counselor, and sex therapist. You help a lot of couples with this. What kind of impact does it make on a marriage when you focus in on intimacy?
Oh, it's huge. It's one of the more neglected areas of a marriage, and so yeah, anytime we get to talk about it or work on it a little bit, it's so helpful for couples. And of course, you know, most men, this is their primary way they feel loved. So when this part isn't working well, you can figure out what kind of impact that's going to have on the marriage. Plus, it's really important for women as well. They just don't always know that yet.
So there is a little bit of a stereotype that it's harder for women to shift into the intimacy. Is that true? Do you find that to be common?
Yeah, for sure. Because women are about 4 steps away, and this is a couple of other chapters in my book, but because women are a couple steps away from desire, we're not walking around with the feeling of I want to. Husbands tend to be walking around with that feeling, and so we have more of a contextual sexual desire where we need to feel like we really like our spouse, he was nice to us that day, whereas a man is a little bit easier, not always, to just kind of be ready when the opportunity presents itself. So we have to kind of work at it a little bit.
So what can help women get there or get in that mindset to be ready for intimacy?
Yeah, well, and the primary way is that our desire is fueled by emotional connection. So that's kind of outside the bedroom stuff. It's also inside the bedroom stuff. But then more specifically, as we're talking about kind of transitioning, transition is things like, how can I kind of get out of mommy mode and get into wife mode and, you know, lover mode? And how can I focus my attention? Because we're the World Wide Web. So we have 500 things on our mind at all times, and so we've got to focus in. And so there's a little bit of a warm-up process and a transitioning process. And one of the things that I help couples with is bridges to desire. There are things that the wife can do, things the husband can do to help her, and things they can do together to help them transition into lovemaking from mommy mode.
And so it's okay to say, hey, it actually is going to be harder for me to shift into that mindset. It may not be natural or as easy for the husband.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you have another tip, and that is to talk to connect.
Yeah, so talking, again, back to the contextual desire we have. If couples are not talking, that's the primary way that we connect emotionally, just like we're kind of doing right here. When you talk and share yourself, that's the way we feel connected. Well, sex is kind of a desire. Sex is a decision for women. So if we don't have good reasons to decide to want to be intimate, like our husband isn't nice and we don't feel connected to him, there's our main motivator to move into that. So yeah, talking is really important outside the bedroom, but talking is also really important inside the bedroom because there's a little bit of a warm me up mode inside the bedroom activities. And then even the next level is there's a little bit of warm me up, move me up the arousal scale by what I call auditory arousal. So talk is important outside the bedroom, and now you can see talk is important inside the bedroom as well. And that can be, an example would be even just ums and ahs and some kind of verbal expression of connection.
Okay, so the conversations really can help the desire.
Yep.
And then for you to decide, okay, I do want to be intimate.
Yep.
What else is there? Touch. Does touch play into this as well?
Yeah, so that's the third item. We've got transition, we've got talk, and then we've got touch. Again, outside the bedroom, many women feel like they don't get much affection anymore. Once they start having sex, once you're in marriage, sex kind of demands all the attention and affection kind of goes to the wayside. Well, again, our desire is contextual. So if we don't feel like you want to touch us your husband wants to touch you other than when he wants to have sex with you, it doesn't help your context. So that touch, that non-sexual affection outside the bedroom is so important for our warm-up. But then the other kind of 2 pieces of touch is inside the bedroom, a lot of women are not getting enough foreplay to help them up the arousal scale. And then even the third level is there's very specific, sexual stimulation that women need, or they're not going to be able to probably reach a climax. So all of those parts are really important, and couples don't always get that.
So how do couples get on the same page? Because there are a lot of steps. You've just explained
I know,
a
I'm
lot
sorry.
of things to think about, but it can be a challenge, I think,
Yes.
sometimes to make sure that you are understanding each other and understanding that it does take more than just a switch.
Yeah, this is why I've written 2 books, because like my latest book, Knowing Her Intimately, I walked through, there's just 12 T's. It was so great that it all fit into T's. You know, talk, touch, time, transition, technique. So people can read a book is usually your best way, because you can read a book together, talk about things together, and really figure out, okay, does that apply to me? Do I need to work on this area? I had a cute couple just the other day in counseling where she's like, okay, I went through your 12 T's, like you said, and kind of rated myself on each of them to see where my areas are that are, you know, a little fuzzy. And she goes, so I came up with this one and this one and this one. So that's where we could focus. And then they can get on the same page there.
So taking an inventory of where you are, what works, what doesn't, that can all help. Help spur on that intimacy.
For sure.
And where can viewers get more information on all of this?
So on my website, StrengtheningMarriage.com, and the books are available in most places as well.
Okay, thanks for stopping by, Laura. We appreciate it.